Good morning, this is Calvin with MakerFixes.com, and today we're here to talk about the Cr-10s, which is the upgraded version of the Creality's Cr-10. Um, the Cr-10 is a great machine, we all know that. Very little problems with it. I know I've heard some people get some of the wiring backwards with a simple fix of a quality control issue. Um, but other than that, it's once you get that fixed, I never had that problem, but it's a good machine. So looking at the CR10 here, this is an upgraded version. It costs about $100 more. Gear Best has it for $450 or something right now on sale. I'll put a link down there. Gear Best does not supply the machine for me. This is all mine. So if you want to use my link and help me support my website here. Uh, but the upgrades on this from the CR10 is the first one is there's a filament shutoff switch which I have laying back there. I'm not really using it. I am going to mount it in there. I didn't like the way it mounted. I wanted to change something because I'm not using their spool holder that they come with. So I was going to rewire that so that it made more sense for my application. I'm going to build an enclosure on this. Um, that's not worth $100 in any sense of the means. I think they sell them for 10 or 15. I'm not sure what the price is, but you can buy them and install them yourself. But it does come with that. And, that's one of the upgrades that comes with it. The other thing which is to me is a little bit more important from the original CR10 is it comes with dual Z. You can't see them here, but there are two. It has a Z motor here and a Z motor here. And one of the main upgrades a lot of people did with the CR10 was to put dual Z in here. So they had to buy a motor and a rod and refit this, and it was about 60 or 70 bucks. So I think that's to do it, maybe a little bit more. Um, so that's an upgrade that some people don't think you need. I prefer it. We are working with weight here, pushing things up and down. And if you install your own, it's hard sometimes to get them balanced so they work, so you don't have stepper skips. Don't skip steps or it gets out of alignment. This has not. I've been printing with this for a week or a little over that now, and it is. I have to re-level this thing maybe once every 10 prints. I mean, it just prints and prints and prints. So that was an upgrade I think is probably worth it. Not having to fight with to upgrade and make sure my stepper motors are in time and all that good stuff. There's a couple of variations I got where they put an extra pulley up here and run it from up there. That probably works. Probably a little cheaper. Um, but with them already balancing it and pre-tuning it, this is a great option here. Uh, the other thing that's rather important is the bootloader. This control box, which is mounted over here, already comes with the bootloader software, so you can modify your firmware. If you want to do that with the original CR10, I believe all of them. I don't think they even changed it, yet. I think the CR10 is still that way. You have to do that yourself. Can be risky for somebody who's not real familiar with software like that. So I can go in here with Marlin and upgrade my firmware and change things I want. Now that's for you advanced makers. You guys that just want a printer to buy and print. This printer has lots of advantages. Okay, first of all, it's not that expensive for the volume it gets. This is a huge volume. Uh, it's an affordable printer. Some of the pre-built ones. This is not pre-built, but it's not far from it. Some of the pre-built ones, you're looking at, maybe 50 cents or $1 per cubic inch down here of build area. This is 10 cents or something per cubic centimeter. It's dirt cheap, or inch or whatever. Uh, if you go buy some of these pre-built machines, you're looking at $3,000 or $4,000. This is under 500. So that's one thing I like about it. It can handle exotic filaments. You can run, PETG, you can ABS. You can run. I'm running metal right through here now. It's a low end metal, but it's a metal. It's running through there, running just fine. I'm not having any. It's PLA metal. it not having any sticky problems. This thing, these prints have been coming out gorgeous with this thing. But you can run some of the wood filaments. Now you may have to change your head over here. Okay, your nozzle. That's standard with a. If you're running wood or uh, what do you want? Glow in the dark or any of the abrasive filaments, you need to buy a stainless steel nozzle anyway. That's just par for the course. Okay. Um, Assembly. Plug some wires in. Put these 2 bolts in here. I put this T here, 3 bolts right here, 3 screws. They were already in there. Screw them together. Mounted this down to here. The clips out here, attached to glass. It was ready to go. It was ready to go. In less than an hour, this machine was printing its first print. Now, I did have one little minor bug, and we'll cover that in some of the upgrades here with my printer. And some of them are like that, I guess. I'm not sure. But that's easy assembly. If you're looking for something, if you don't want to build your machine, you want something you can put together pretty easily. This machine's an easy assembly. The directions work. It's 45 minutes or less, and you're printing. Another advantage of a pro of this machine is the community. There's Facebook groups, there's Google Plus groups, there's multiple groups, there's Reddit groups that can give you help with this. Uh, that's always handy. If you buy some of the other printers that doesn't have as many customers. I mean, Net has its following and the Tronxies, but this is one of the big ones. Some of the off-brand ones you get, it's hard to find help with them. Another thing, it did come with some extra parts, which were kind of useful. Some of the extra oddball screws, and there's an extra end stop switch in there. I don't know if they counted wrong or what, but there was an extra one in there, and they actually came with a little bit of filament, more than most of the printers came with. I forgot what it said. 200 grams of filament came with a white PLA. I don't have it over here. But, it did come with that. Couple of things I didn't care about this printer, and I still don't. But it's not the only printer that has this problem. It's a little hard to see. This nozzle does not stick out very far from this box right here. So you got to get down here, kind of like this, and look under there and see where your nozzle is compared. And so leveling it, you got to bend over, and I've got a bad back, so that's just kind of a grief of mine. That doesn't affect its performance. You just have to work a little harder to level it. Another thing I didn't like about it is the fan on here that cools the product, and I'm going to build another one. There are quite a few of them out there. That it just doesn't put much air on your print, and I think a better designed fan would be a good idea. The other problem I had with this was over here on the Z stop. It comes with a little T, and I got one right here, the support T, and then you're supposed to mount the plate to that and attach it. Well, there's no adjustment on it. So when mine came down and I homed it, it was 10 millimeters off. Now I can go into my 3D, Simply 3D, and adjust that. Okay. But not all of us have Simplify 3D, and I'm not sure how you can do it. Somebody's yelling at me on the phone. I don't want to talk to them now. But so that was a little bug. And what I did is I took the plate off. I got it to home manually and printed this little deal here, which I think I need to tighten up, that allows me to adjust the Z stop up and down. Since I put that on, that's the first time I've touched it. I've probably printed 20 prints since then. Works fine. So a little minor print. Didn't need it for the first time. I was able to manually home it and make it work. And the other thing I printed was just more for convenience than anything else, was these large knobs right here. You see them right here, these large white knobs. This makes leveling this machine a ton easier. It has a leveling system in there, and reaching under there, trying to get under those little knobs is a little tricky. Not as bad as the net when I first got it with those little thumb screws, but these big knobs, it's real easy. You can just kind of real quick and easy. So that was a mod that I stuck in there. Some of the other things I am going to do this is a slow machine to warm up because it's got such a large heat bed. So I will build an enclosure for it so when I get to ABS I can actually keep the temperature stable and some of the other filaments that require enclosure. One beef I have with this is the cables to the box. They're pretty much designed to go right here. If you want to put the box somewhere else, they're too short. But I have found extenders available on eBay and Amazon. I think they're cheaper on eBay than they're on Amazon. That I could plug into this. And I think I sell them at Creality too. And plug this in and be able to move that thing further away. So when I build my box, I don't want my box in my enclosure. I see a lot of people do that. Electronics don't like to get hot. So if you're putting you put your net or your trunks and it's got the board mounted up over here somewhere, and you're putting that inside the box that you're heating, cooling becomes more of an issue. I prefer the boxes like this separate and where I can keep it cool, the fan, put it down underneath the enclosure and not have the electronics in here. Just makes more sense. Keep your electronics cool. Am I happy with this machine? It's my best printer. It's the only ones that are actually running right now. I've got a couple of Tronxies I got on the net, and this thing just outperforms every one of them. I'm sure I can make the other ones perform like this, but not with the ease and I mean, in an hour I was printing quality prints. Most of the other printers that we build from scratch, you're looking at a 6 or 8 or 10 hour build, and then calibration, which can be a real fun job on some of these printers. Not this one; it was real easy. It's got a 300 by 300 print area, which is, the other ones are 220 by 220. A lot of them are smaller. Most of them only go 300 millimeters high. This one goes 400 millimeters high. You can make some pretty good vases. I've seen them online. Make these big old vases in here. There is a vase mode in 3D, Simplify 3D that you can do. I think there's one in Cura too, which you can make vases, make them hollow, and this machine's a good machine for something like that. Another thing it came with that I was quite impressed with, because most of them don't, come with the glass. It's a nice piece of tempered glass here, right here, nice rounded edges, and it was already in here. And most of the printers, you got to go buy that. Now, if you go cut your own glass, which is what I usually do, you get this big old sharp edge over here. And not with this machine. It's got the rounded tempered glass, and there's no cuts. And I have cut myself on a couple of these printers. I put glass on, just putting tape on the edge. You're getting the tape off. Next thing I got a big old glass cut. That was a nice feature. Now, I know some of you looking at this and say, "Hey, you don't have the stripes in the Creality. These little stripes here, they're not required to run this thing." I actually didn't even bother mounting them. I had them in here. I decided to take them off. We got one left here, one here. I'm probably going to take them off. They're for looks. Okay. To me, this is a machine. It doesn't have to look pretty. It's not a Mustang, Ford Mustang. It's not a Jaguar. It's a 3D printer. So what I've noticed is these things fairly quickly start getting scratched up and don't look great anyway. So I use it for making things. That's why mine looks a little different than some of the pictures you'll see. It don't have all the stripes on there. Other upgrades I'm looking to do with this right now, not many at all. Lights, because it's a little hard to see down in here, will be harder inside. I'm working on here. You can see I've got the print. This is a shelf I made. Now there's a little bit of Z-banding there, and that may have been my setting off just a little bit. But these are some of the prints that are coming out of here. Okay, this is a shelf I'm making to go underneath the control box. And you can see on this one, I don't know how well you can see it, but it came. This is the way it came out of the machine. I've not cleaned it up a bit. You know, works well. I had this set at 0.15 resolution, so it should be a better print. The trays I should have set at 1.5 too. I set them at 0.2. See, this will go like that, and these trays will slide in and out on these bearings, you know. But it's the quality of the print. I've printed a few other things with letters on them and stuff, and the letters just came out gorgeous. That's a sign of a good printer when you do the lettering and it comes out nice without a lot of adjustments. See, that's a metal filament. See a little bit of shine to it there. Overall, would I buy this printer again? Yeah, this is. If I was gonna needed a shop with 5 of them and just couldn't afford big commercial machines, I'd buy 5 of these things. This is an awesome machine. GearBest has the best prices. I'll give you a link down at my website. And yeah, you can pay more on Amazon. It took me 3 weeks to get it from GearBest over Christmas. 3 weeks. So, well worth the wait. Very happy with the machine. Thanks, Creality. And you guys all have a great day.